my goodness. Yo, I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. Sometimes as MMA fans, we don't deserve what we be getting, bro. Like, I cannot believe, like, this is why the UFC is number one. This is why the UFC is number one. When they make cards like this, you instantly realize how much talent they really have and how much it's just how much talent they really have and how they really do a good job of actually breaking it up. So every card every now and then is good, except for UFC 289.
I'm like, what the hell is going on?
But that's neither here nor there. UFC 289 is gonna be mediocre. UFC 290 is gonna be kind of good. We get to see Volk, right? And then UFC 291, my favorite fighter, Dustin the Diamond Poirier, will be rematching Justin, the highlight reel, Gaethje for the BMF title. Yo, this is, oh my goodness, I cannot wait for this card. I cannot wait for this card. I can't even believe that this card is actually happening. I'm at a loss of words. Justin Gaethje versus Dustin Poirier for the BMF belt. We thought that they were never going to bring that title back, but because of the fact that Jorge Masvidal retired, that effectively made the BMF title available, and that's actually a good thing in a sense because it's great for the fans, it's great for business, it's great for everybody, and it just shows that yes, the BMF title can be put on the line, but will it just be defended every so frequently? Probably not. It's only going to be for matches that it makes sense. And we knew that Justin Gaethje and Dustin Poirier was going to run it back. It was the only fight that made sense for both guys. Both guys won the fights they needed to win. And they're basically one fight away from a title shot. Is one of them going to call for a title shot after this fight? I'm not sure. You know, they both fought Habib. And we saw how it went for both of them. They literally both got finished. And Islam is kind of that same kind of fighter. So even though I'm a Dustin Poirier fan, I'm a realist. I don't know if he's going to call for a title shot. I think he just wants fun fights at this point. So I'm not even really sure if I could really even see him calling for that. But nonetheless, this is great for both guys. I'm so happy for both guys. Justin Gaethje, man, since he's come to UFC, like, his name is the highlight for a reason. Just go watch his highlights. I'm not talking about Justin Gaethje right now. We know how savage Justin Gaethje is, and we know how savage Justin Poirier is. So what a main event. I'm so excited for this card, man. I cannot believe it. I cannot wait. But let's get into the rest of the card. In the co-main event, we're gonna get Alex Pereira versus Jan Blachowicz. Literally, Alex Pereira is moving up to 205, and I didn't even realize that. That's how crazy it was getting. I didn't even realize that Alex Pereira is gonna be fighting so quick at 205, and he's gonna be making a run for the light heavyweight belt. We know this is what it is. I think he's gonna get fast tracked. I think if he can get at least one win, because of the current state of the light heavyweight division, I think if Alex Pereira can get one win over Jan Blachowicz, who is ranked number 3, I think that's gonna warrant him for a title shot, or he may have to fight Magomed Ankalaev. Right now, Blachowicz is number 3, Magomed Ankalaev is number 2, and we know that once Jerry Prochazka comes back, who's ranked number 1, he should be fighting Jamal Hill. So that fight's booked up. Jan Blachowicz is booked up, and then that pretty much just leaves Magomed Ankalaev outside of it. But I think that since we just saw Magomed fight for the title, I don't know if the UFC is going to be too quick to even want to put him in that type of fight. They want to put on exciting fights, and if Blachowicz gets steamrolled by Pereira, which could very well happen, because Pereira is very strong, and him being at 205 means that he's not going to have to drain himself. So the power that he's going to be coming through with at 205, it's gonna be scary. But that's the co-main event. The next fight down the card, we're going now, main card, we got Paulo Costa versus Ikram Aleskov. Now, if you guys don't know who Ikram Aleskov is, I'm just gonna show you guys what he did to Phil Hayes in his last fight.
He doesn't try to seem like he's fighting safe now, and Aleskov just hurt him.
Oh! Ikram! So you see what I'm saying? Like, this guy is for real. This guy is for real. He's definitely for real. He can wrestle. He has knockout power. But Paulo Costa, like, I'm not sure why he took this fight. It was kind of, you know, if you've been keeping up with Paulo Costa, you know what's been going on with him. He came off that win over Rockhold. He's currently number 5. You know, I don't really know what's gonna happen for him. So him taking a fight versus Ikram, it doesn't really do much for him, literally. So if he loses this fight, Ikram's gonna end up being number 5 in the middleweight division, and that's gonna be scary, because all that means is even after Izzy ends up fighting either Robert Whittaker or Dricus du Plessis, Ikram's gonna be at number 5. So that pretty much means he's gonna end up getting the title fight or having to win one more fight to get a title fight. So the middleweight division is gonna get crazier, gonna get scary. Next up, we got my second favorite fighter, Tony El Kukui Ferguson, coming back to face Bobby Green. Now, I thought that these guys did fight before, but I think it might be Eve Edwards that I'm mistaken Bobby Green for fighting. Yeah, I thought that they fought before, but it might just be... No, I'm thinking about Michael Johnson and Eve Edwards, yeah. So these two guys never fought before, but they both been in the UFC for a long time. We know the current situation with Tony, and we know Bobby Green is coming off of that no contest, or that disqualification, whatever that was, a no contest versus Jared Gordon, where it was like a headbutt and he got a finish, so that fight didn't end up counting in. I'm a Tony fan, man. I wish he would have got that Khabib fight. That's one of the things in MMA I'll never be able to get over. But to be honest though, in all honesty, like I said, just because I'm a fan of somebody doesn't mean I'm gonna sit here and not, call the fight how it really should be called. Man, I'm just hoping that Tony can get the win. But the thing with Bobby Green is he has high volume with his striking, and he has really good head movement. He's still a good boxer. He's still a good fighter. And Tony has just been on a decline, man. He's lost literally 5 fights in a row. So if he loses this again, this will be a 6th loss in a row. I mean, it's do or die for Tony Ferguson right now. He should have been able to get the win over Nate Diaz. He had, it was a short notice fight, but what he was doing in that fight made a lot of sense. He was throwing a lot of leg kicks, and Nate Diaz was pretty much compromised by it. So it's kind of sad to see that he couldn't capitalize on that, and that's what was the scariest thing above all. All the other fights he was getting dominated. Michael Chandler, he got front kick KO'd. Beno Dariush, he got dominated from beginning to end. Charles Oliveira, he got dominated. Justin Gaethje, he got dominated. So he didn't have any moments at all, except in Michael Chandler fight, he did get a knockdown, which was great to see. And to be fair, he did look good in the Michael Chandler fight. I'll say that. He did look good in the Michael Chandler fight. And also, what this does tell me is that Tony's back at 155. That's what this tells me. He's back at 155. He looked really sluggish and slow at 170, so I really can't see him doing much at 170. He's just not, like, he should have made that jump a long time ago if he really wanted to, where he still was able to cause damage. But him at 170 is not going to be able to do much. So him being back at 155, hopefully he looks how he looked against Michael Chandler. And with Bobby Green, he's not going to have to worry about as much of the power, but he has to worry about the volume, and he has been getting hit a lot. So I'm hoping that Tony can get the win. We'll see what ends up happening. I think he should, he should be able to get that win against Bobby Green. But next up, or down the line after that, we got Michael Chiesa versus Kevin Holland. And this is a chance for Kevin Holland to get his ranking at welterweight, and for Michael Chiesa to just just get back on track. He hasn't fought in a while. The way I see this fight going, though, I think Kevin Holland should be able to win that fight. He's a better striker than Chiesa by far, and he does have good jiu-jitsu, so he actually, would be able to sub Chiesa if anything, if it got to that point. So I don't really see Chiesa really being able to do much of anything to Michael Chandler, or to Kevin Holland in that fight. So I'm picking Kevin Holland to win that fight. And then from there, Wonderboy versus Michel Pereira. This was supposed to be on UFC 289, but they moved it to UFC 291. And that's gonna be a crazy fight. Like we know what's gonna happen in that fight. That fight should have been on the main card, but I get it in a sense. I get it because Kevin Holland has a really big name, and they're trying to push him. But then again, he just lost to Wonderboy. So why is Wonderboy not on the main card? They should really address that. Wonderboy should be in the main card. Kevin Holland should be in the featured bout. But then again, UFC uses that spot of the featured bout to sell the pay-per-view. So them putting that fight there does make sense. It does make sense. That's gonna be probably fight of the night. If I'd already, actually, no, my bad. The main event's gonna be fight of the night. I'm bugging. I forgot. The main event's gonna be fight of the night. But yes, Wonderboy and Michel Pereira is gonna give it a run for its money. And then from there, we got Derek Lewis versus Marcos Rogerio de Lima, who's been on a real good run. Derek Lewis is going to lose that fight. He doesn't have anything outside of the knockout power, and Marcos is going to shoot for the takedowns. So that's going to be a fight that Derek Lewis is going to have to hope he can get a quick KO with. And then CJ Vergara versus Vincius Salvador. That's gonna be another fight that's gonna be in the contention for the fight of the night. That fight's gonna be a banger. 2 flyweights. The flyweights been on fire ever since that time where the flyweights was supposedly supposed to go away when Cejudo was a champ. They've been on fire ever since, so you can expect an explosive fight out of that. So yeah, that's how the card's looking so far. They still gotta obviously put a couple more fights on it, but man, that's gonna be a wild card. And hey man, shout out to Dana White. Anytime, say whatever you want to say about Dana White and the UFC, critique them however you want, talk about Power Slap. Hey, I critique Power Slap myself, but at the end of the day, the one thing that we should all be able to agree on, if you have sense, they are the #1 MMA organization in the world for a reason, and it's not going anywhere. When they make cards like this, it just reminds you how much talent they really have on the roster. Like, they really have a serious amount of talent, because they can stack up a card like this at any moment and make a banger card. So, hey, UFC 291, Poirier versus Gaethje 2. Let me know who you guys got in the comment section down below. If you're excited for the fights, let me know, man. I'll catch you guys in the next one.